Okay, so here's the situation. I go live on all these social media platforms on Mondays to hang out with y'all. We're gonna eat our meals. We're gonna eat our lunch. I hear it now. Um, and they can hear me here. So okay. So there's too many things to think about. I'm just gonna eat. So sorry. My partner is like a video camera. He knows about like production, so he's made all of this cool setup so we can go live on all of these um, social media channels just to try to help support and hang out with people. So we're gonna hang out and we're gonna answer questions, eat our meals. So feel free to grab something. Yay, you can hear me on Instagram. Okay, so I think we've got the sound. Hi, friends. I'm gonna be between TikTok questions, any questions that come up on Facebook or YouTube. And of course, I'll be taking the questions off of Instagram. So what are we talking about today? Let's see. Let's go up to some of you. No, I don't want to cancel it. What? Okay. Let's see. It is hard to get together with people right now for fellowship. When COVID hit, I know. Let me take a bite. My lunch is really good. Support is hard in general, and when COVID hit, I was just hearing how hard it was for people losing access to their treatment, not able to get in for treatment, not able to meet with their team and their groups and things. So um, this is really fun for me. I love doing this. If y'all are also needing meal support on Instagram, COVID-19 eating support, they go live every hour for meal support and they're really great. So I would check them out too because again, they go like live all the time. So they're constantly giving support. So hi, Lady Dut on Instagram. Thanks for being here. Grab something to eat and let's hang out. If anybody's needing any support for eating anything, we're here for you. Feel free to don't trigger people. Let's not, use numbers, please. Don't talk about weight. Don't talk about calories. Don't talk about behaviors. We're going to also keep this recovery focused and safe. But it's hard to eat sometimes. So we're here to support each other. Or maybe you just ate and you're feeling things. Or maybe you use behaviors and you're feeling upset. Maybe you're just lonely. Maybe you're anxious. Maybe you're depressed. Maybe you just want to like hang out. That's cool. You all belong here. So, should you go to a therapist even if they are not an eating disorder specialist? So, Girlene116, great question. Yes. That is the easy answer to that. Yes, please go see a therapist, even if they are not a specialist. And here's why. Because a therapist is going to be really great at helping you still sort through mental and emotional issues. They can help you with a lot. Why you want to see an eating disorder specialist if you have access to one, and why because an eating disorder specialist, we know eating disorders, right? We know the specific like nuances of it and how difficult it is. And somebody who's not an eating disorder specialist, they may say something that like triggers your eating disorder or triggers behaviors, or they may minimize you or dismiss you or invalidate you when you're talking about your eating disorder. So I want to always encourage everyone to go to therapy because all of us can benefit from therapy. If you have access to an eating disorder specialist, um, go see them. And the cool thing about an eating disorder specialist is we're also like licensed clinicians. So we are also like, we don't just treat eating disorders, we also treat like other mental health things sometimes too. But um so yeah, go talk to somebody. Okay. Thanks for keeping me distracted while I get ready to go eat with my RD. Oh, that's good. That's a great RD. Um, I love working with the registered dietitian that I have the privilege to work with. I have been able to meet some of the most compassionate, um, fun RDs who get it. Like, they get mental health stuff too, and like they want to. I mean, like they're wanting to learn about how to work with trauma, and they're wanting to learn how to work with depression and identify suicidality, because you share so much with your dietitian, and your dietitian helps you in so many ways. Like, they want to also be able to support you. So RDs are great. I love the people that I've been able to work with. So good for you for having one, but you might be a little anxious. You can do it. Your RD is going to help you get through it. Mm, trying to push through it and remind yourself you're worthy of eating. Let's see, who's that? I may have missed the original. So sometimes that is a thing, right? Where we don't have an appetite. Our appetite can go away for many different reasons. Or we're just not like, we're hungry, but we're not feeling it. Sometimes that is an eating disorder kind of thing. Sometimes it's other things, health things, or sometimes it's like depression, anxiety. Those things can affect our appetite, but our body still needs food. Our body requires food every few hours. Honestly, every couple of hours it wants the energy of food. So sometimes we have to eat, um, right, because we know it's good for us, and we know that we um, it's best for our body to eat, even though our appetite is kind of not there. So that's called mechanical eating, and it's not fun, but it is a great way to care for yourself, because you know it's what's best for you. Let's see. We've got some. It is super zoomed in on Instagram, and I don't know how to like. I don't know how that's the thing, or I'll tell you this: my face is on the camera. It used to not be, because I like sit all weird and on this space that I'm at, and I'm telling you, there's like, I'm looking at four. It's a lot that we've got going on over here to go live. So I tend to like be all over the place. So sorry it's zoomed in, because if you want to see the whole thing, what you're gonna see is we also have like a screen in the corner for the TikTok feed, because that's the only feed that doesn't feed into these other ones. So if you go like to YouTube, you can see the whole screen. But I also try to read the comment. So yay! Finally able to join your live. Grabbed an apple and jumped on the couch. Yay! 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 So glad you're here. Okay. So ICA, maybe 1982, came to an ED specialist last Friday. A long waiting period. Yeah. Well, so your experience is not uncommon to be told you don't have an eating disorder. Um, and I don't sometimes eating disorder, people who say they treat eating disorders aren't health at every size, or they're more focused on weight loss, and that isn't helpful. And so, I would want to say, like a 1982, are they health at every size? There is a website. I think if you just Google health at every size, it should be one of the first ones that comes up. You'll be able to find, you can search for a provider near you. Not every place, like it's pretty sparse. Some places have beautiful resources, but I am aware that, not every place has access to those, but that might be a place to start to see, is there a health at every size eating disorder treatment facility near me? They might give you a different, perspective. I don't know. Also, it's real easy to confuse disordered eating with eating disorders, but um, and I'm wondering what level of care they assess you for. Sometimes, if it's a higher level of care, there's certain criteria you need to be able to get in. So um, that doesn't mean that you don't deserve help, right? You deserve help. You deserve somebody to listen to you and help you feel better about your body and food in a way that's like healthy and good for you. Um, so is there, I don't know the situation. I'm just speculating and talking out loud. Yeah, it can. Treatment is expensive. There's some discussion here on Instagram about how needing to go to a higher level of care but can't afford it. So check out Project Heal. I know they give grants to people. They can't award everybody, but that's the thing. A lot of these programs, even these hospitals, ask about sliding scale, ask about their grant or pro bono. We all have these things. Um, so ask what those things, if they have those options available, because that may help you get into a treatment program, or that may help you get into a specialist, or a registered dietitian. I'm gonna go to. So there's somebody here on TikTok saying they're vegetarian, and I can't tell you what foods to eat. I this no, I don't do that. And I wouldn't do that to anybody. So it has nothing to do with like vegetarianism or veganism. But I want to say, because there are people who I have a YouTube video on veganism and vegetarianism and eating disorder recovery. So I will spare my rant. And if you want to know more, just like my professional and personal thoughts on veganism, vegetarianism, and eating disorder recovery, there's a video about it on YouTube. It's not bad, and it's possible, are the cliff notes. I just think it's right with most things. What is your intention, and how it is you can be recovered, and you can be healthy and be a vegan and be a vegetarian. But for some people, it's also used to hide an eating disorder. So right, we want to just make sure we're not giving the eating disorder ammunition. Mm. Mm. Good question. Here, Sarah D. How do I tell the difference between needing to eat more and binging? Okay, if you need to eat more, you want to eat more because you're craving it, you're still hungry, or you haven't yet had like a craving, need, desire satisfied yet, it's okay to keep eating. Our culture has demonized binging and eating normal amounts of food. Eating normal amounts of food sometimes looks like having more to eat, having an extra serving or whatever, going back for more. So a binge, true binge eating is eating till you are like overly full. You are almost sick. You are so full. Like you feel really, really physically uncomfortable. You are eating in secret. You are hiding how much you are consuming. Um, what else? Let's see. With binge eating a lot, there is restriction that happens. So maybe you try to diet during the day, try to do the right thing, and then at night you find yourself going back for more. Um, that's not necessarily a binge. It feels like a binge, and we can certainly eat past fullness, well past fullness in those cases. Sometimes that is a binge, um, but a binge is just eating more than what is needed for your body in a day. So it's going beyond your needs, your daily needs. And right, I'm being really vague here because it is very nuanced and it is a very vague concept. I can't say eat this, eat that, this much, this, it's for you. And some days you're going to feel like you can't get enough food in you. You just want to keep eating. And some days, just seemingly like the next day, you're like, okay, well, I'm good. Because it's all, none of this is simple. None of this is simple. But the first thing is to start talking, like, stop giving up these food rules. So let me take a bite. Hmm. So there's a question on Instagram here. How do I talk to my therapist about food when everything I say, according to her, is it's under control? Is me having it under control? But you think about food all the time. I think that's what you want to say to your therapist, right? You should be, you should say, I think about food 24/7. I obsess about it. Like I can't find relief because that's what I would be interested in talking about. I always tell my clients I don't really care about what you eat. I don't care. I don't care. I want to talk more about like the emotional mental stuff, the beliefs that are going on and the emotional reasons for why we use behaviors or some of the all of those like uh, limited beliefs that hold us back, right? And make food and eating hard. Those are the things that are fun to talk about. So maybe it's talking less about like what you're eating and more about how it affects you, how it feels for you. You did multiple times. Um, I think therapists, we know a lot about mental health. You know a lot about you, and um, if you if if your therapist isn't getting it, you're allowed to switch therapists. You are. You're. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes we get work done with a therapist, and another one is what we need. Because we're all trained in kind of our own we're taught like by a supervisor, right? Or we're taught by professors, and they kind of bring their preferred techniques and thoughts and way of treating things into people. And so we learn about a lot of different ways to treat people, but some of us just kind of practice according to like who we are and what feels authentic for us. So not every therapist works. So sometimes you go to a therapist and you like it and you get something out of it, and then you stop getting something out of it. So, like it's okay to switch. If they won't give you what you need, right? If you feel like it's something more and you told her that and all she wants to talk about is control issues, um, you know, saying that I don't want to talk about control issues, I think it's something else to say that. And if it's not a good fit anymore, maybe it's time to look at options. That happens sometimes. I know I've had different therapists throughout my life. So, because sometimes we get what we need from one, and then stuff comes up, and then we have to get what we need from somebody else. Or you kind of realize you like a different thing, and sometimes what happens in therapy is stuff comes up, and you realize, oh, like this is also something in my life, and maybe you need to go to a therapist who can help you address that, or maybe there's like some type of therapy, MDR, right? That's a certain kind of training. You may decide you want to use that or try that in addition to therapy. So yeah, I think my point is it's okay to switch if you need to. Okay, let's see. Denmark. Wow. Does it get cold there though? I feel like it's cold in Denmark. I don't do well with the cold. I am a Texas girl. And so, yeah, it's really hard for me. I lived in Chicago for a few years to work and go to school, and I do not like the winters. Are there any winter fans? And how cold does it get in Denmark? There are some people from, there was somebody from Minnesota earlier. I know it's cold in Minnesota. Mm. Okay. So maybe it's not so cold in Denmark. Maybe I could see myself there then, potentially. I like a mild. I used to say I always loved like Florida weather, Miami, because it was just hot all the time. And that's what I like. I just want my, I want the air outside to match my body temperature. That sounds really weird, but I just want to have this like nice warmth around me all of the time. Okay, some questions here. You grew up in the Midwest, now live in North Carolina. It can get cold in North Carolina. My SED supervisor, the sort of like business mentor, she is in Asheville, North Carolina. And I went to visit a couple years ago, and it's really, Asheville's a really fun town. I want to go back. It was a good town. Sweden is cold AF, and we're north of Denmark. Oh, ooh, you don't see the sun for 3 months. I'm out. I'm out. I can't do it. I won't do it. Man. Okay, hold on. I need a bite. And then we gotta talk about this. So, we went to Iceland um last year. Last year. And they also have the sun will stay up for almost like I think like 24 hours, and then they'll have nighttime like real long. And we wanted to go at a certain time to see the northern lights. Well, I think that's when the sun doesn't shine a lot. But we got there and we had quite a bit of sun because I was like, I'm not going. I need sun. I can't go when it's just going to be like dark and cold the whole time. That's not. And it was still pretty cold when we went. There's a lot of snow. We went up in mountains and stuff, but it was a really fabulous trip. I'm not complaining about that trip. It was amazing. Angie D82 on TikTok. I love winter. Winter fan here from Connecticut. South Africa. I find Cape Town to have perfect climate. Okay, I want to go there. My sister spent some time there. Yeah, she did like a great white shark excursion down there. I wouldn't do that. How do you tell your support team that you are relapsing without catastrophizing and causing a crisis? I think it depends on the severity of the relapse. Maybe I think if you say something now, you're going to hopefully avoid a crisis. So, you can say, I'm having a hard time. Here's where I'm at, and here's why I'm being honest about it because, I want to be upfront. I want to be, I kind of want to tell you where I'm struggling and what I'm feeling. And so here's some things that I've noticed, and I'm a little concerned about it. So, how do we get things back on track? I think when a client comes to me and they're having a hard time and they're really struggling, one of the things I think about for like, do they need a higher level of care? This is just one thing. Is how are they able to see the effect of it and their motivation to make some changes? Like, do they feel like they can really truly get on top of it and do something to like get them support and get kind of what like the ship turned around and redirected? If there's trouble with that, kind of like low motivation, just not a lot of support, things are feeling really just not stable, then maybe that's when you look at what do we need to do to get extra support. So just letting them know, hey, I'm noticing these things, what do you think? Like, how do we get these things redirected and back where we want them to be? But take online clients from them. Okay, well, hey, so we can actually check out the Recovery Academy. We can see people worldwide virtually through the Recovery Academy. We have lots of support. We have group support. We have individual support. We have community support. We also have just like self-help, self-learning, self-recovery help in the Recovery Academy. It's my I teach y'all everything I know about eating disorders and different community eating disorder related topics. So if a bunch of people in the community are kind of like struggling with a certain topic, I'll create like a course, a training on it, and then give it to the people in the community with worksheets and activities. But there is virtual one-on-one support. Yes, so you can do individual work through the Recovery Academy. So if anybody wants to just learn more about that, it's recovery-academy.com. There's lots of different options. So another question here, do we do telehealth? So look through the Recovery Academy, recovery-academy.com, and look at the different options and see if there's one that feels like a good fit for you. We try to make it accessible for people, and we try to consider different options of what people may need. So these labs have been so helpful. They've helped me so much normalize eating. Thank you for doing this, Melissa Joy on Instagram. Well, thank you. I love this time. It's a really, hold on, let me take a bite. I enjoy it too. So it's one of my favorite. I always look forward to this hour. It doesn't feel like work. It just feels like we're hanging out together. Okay. Does anyone know what relapsing remission from Anna is? Relapsing remission from Anna. That doesn't make any sense to me. You can relapse from an eating disorder. You can have anorexia, which is usually we see as ANA, right? It's a like abbreviation, anorexia. You can relapse and you can go into remission. I do believe that eating disorders are treatable. So I see people recover from eating disorders all the time. So if that were you, relapsing remission from ANA, I would say, okay, well, it sounds like you had anorexia. If you felt like you were in pretty strong recovery and you've been triggered, you're experiencing, like triggered behaviors, triggered urges, triggered thoughts. So it's okay to go back and get help, like get into a therapist, see somebody on the outpatient level of care, because if you can get support around that, maybe, no promises, because treatment is always on the table with an eating disorder. I'm sorry, we can't ever take it off the table, but maybe if you get into some support, you can avoid it becoming a really unmanageable deal where life may have to be disrupted. Oh, you want to cancel your appointment from your therapist because you're nervous? I get it. I get it. I want to say give it another try. Um, the therapist has to get to know you too, and you may need time to warm up to the therapist. Like you've just met this person, you've only spent an hour with them, so of course it feels like weird to go in and open up. So the first few sessions for me are just kind of hanging out and getting to know each other. So I don't know this therapist, but I'm gonna hope that they're gonna work on building that trust with you. So they're not gonna push you, hopefully, too hard. They're gonna show up and ask questions and be friendly and compassionate and try to just listen to you so they can learn more about you so that they can help you. So it's okay, go back, give it a little bit more time. I usually tell clients like 6 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 sessions. You'll kind of know if you're vibing or not by then, and if you're not, then I think you gave it a try. And if you like it, then you'll know, like, okay, I've given it some time, so we're gonna keep going. So somebody says there's a Facebook question. Okay, so good question. On Facebook, what should I do? This person works in healthcare, and residents comment about their weight. Ugh, they call names, refer to weight, but I'm afraid it's so malicious. My boss doesn't seem to think it's not a bad thing. You just don't want you want to be happy with who you are, period, and no comments. Amen. I wish we wouldn't make health or weight comments. Like no body comments at all. Can we stop it? Emily, I think it's having conversations and saying it depends, right? If it's somebody that you trust and you're close with, you can sit them down and tell them and talk to them and ask them to stop. But if it's kind of like in a group setting kind of a thing, oh, I don't know what happened, then, sorry, the camera went weird. You can shut it down and change the subject, walk away. But I think it's saying, hey, I don't like, we're moving on. We're not talking about this. This isn't a thing. I don't care. I don't really weigh myself. I don't really pay attention to that. I just show up and I eat food. So you can say something very like, I heard it, but I don't give a shit. Like I don't want to talk about it. You can say that. But if you're in healthcare, there's a lot of fat phobia around, and there's a lot of people who just or haven't learned the message yet. So Emily, do what you can to educate people when you have the energy to do it, and know that it's not your job to educate everybody. It's only your job to protect yourself and set those boundaries for yourself. So if it's okay if you don't always have the energy to address it, you can always go back to it if you need to as well. You love my shirt. I don't, thank you. I got it from Sheen, Shine, Shein, I don't know. Okay, my friends. I only have like 1 minute left because I have to go get ready for GRUB, the Recovery Academy. We meet on Mondays for GRUB. We hang out. It's real small. We just get on a Zoom and we chat and we hang out and we get support and we set goals and so that is at 1 o'clock. So hi, I'm doing great today. Thank you for asking. So my friends, I have to hop off here now. I will be back on Monday for this again. We'll eat and we'll hang out. I'll answer your questions. You can email me, Stephanie at TexomaSpecialtyCounseling.com. Yes, anyone can join the Recovery Academy. It's for anybody, right? And we have a fun community and we get a lot of support. We really hype each other up. We're learning together, we're growing together, we're learning how to recover together, and then I'm kind of like teaching and mentoring along the way. I have some awesome coaches in the Recovery Academy too who have some lived experience and also just are not me, right? With it, which is a different, nice perspective. So anybody can join the Recovery Academy. So recovery-academy.com. Hopefully I'll see y'all in there, or I'll see you here online, or I'll see y'all next week for the live. But I gotta go. Okay. Bye, friends.